Hey, welcome back to Visions Now Supper Club. Visions Now Supper Club is a presentation of Columbus Flavor 92.1 FM and AM 1420. All views expressed for their educational and journalistic purposes. They're not the views of the management, advertisers, nor staff of 92.1 FM or AM 1420. However, Visions does desire to bring a quality edutainment program which intellectually stimulates and culturally fulfills our community's needs to develop leadership and inform decision-making for our collective future. Welcome to the village, often imitated, but never duplicated. I'm Dr. Jaylene Hood, your host and executive producer. Welcome. Welcome to another session of Visions Now, the Supper Club. Hey, I feel pretty, it's kind of raining, drizzling, makes you kind of, kind of like it a little bit. It ain't stormy, but it's just kind of one of them days you want to get a fireplace and sit back and chill, you know what I'm saying? And put on some nice music, some lettucey for Hubs and some lettucey for her, you know what I'm saying? And kind of talk about how we can make making love better. And let's go into that next video, Jay. Let's see what we're talking about. Yes. Again, we talked about uh, communication, and one of the things that we're going to talk about later on in the show tonight, we're going to be talking about body language, because that's communication too, and we're going to have to make sure that the body language and everything is in tune if we really want to communicate. Now, it's like anything. If we want to communicate because we want to understand, or do we want to just make our point? You know what I'm saying? If we're just trying to make a point, but then that's not communication. See, if you want to argue, then you argue by yourself. You don't need me. It's going to get in the mirror and do your thing. But you want to communicate, then we're going to have a conversation, which means that if I'm talking, right, then if you want to interject something because you have a question to ask, not a rebuttal. See, that's another thing about it. If you're making a statement, you follow me, Jay? If you and a lady making a statement, you're talking, or she's talking, right? Now, if you want to rebut something that she's saying, well, you just, you can just chill on that. But if you got a question that you want to make sure you understand what she's saying, well, then she should say, okay, what is it, right? Then you say, well, I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying about blah, 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 blah. And the same thing with him. But if it go back to the point, oh, no. Oh, yeah. Now we're not communicating. We don't have no communication. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're saying is that start off, matter of fact, might be a good idea. Whenever you're talking about it, maybe a good idea to take a 60-second meditation. That's it. Before we had this conversation, I said, let's just pause and just get out, this deep breathe for a minute. Let's hold hands. Hold my hand, take my hand. Okay, now, what you got to say, baby? Okay? Oh, okay. Yeah. But my point is, you got to do some things in there, because if you come into it already with a distance, right, and you're going to talk, then what's going to happen? You're going to fall back even farther from the distance. But if you're in this thing together, that's why what I have suggested over the years with my clients has been, I have suggested to them that they should really have conversation when they get in bed. Get in bed, snuggle up, and then just whisper in each other's ear. You know what I'm saying? While you're snuggling up. It'll just change the tone. But if I'm standing up and you standing in front of me, or I'm sitting across from you, in other words, it creates a different kind of vibes. You know what I'm saying? But we laying there, okay, and you want me to hear something, so you whisper in my ear, you rub me on my chest while you're doing it, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But if you holler at me now, that ain't gonna work. Now you gotta give it some some lollipop, you gotta give it some milkshake or something, Jay. I mean, Jay, you understand what I'm saying? You gotta give me some you gotta give me some you gotta give me something now. You can't just, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be whisper my ear and hollering in my ear.
Right.
You got to be talking. So we're doing love talk. So we just having a conversation. So that, like that. Yeah. What do you think, Jay? I think that, I know it'll work. But what do you think with the people that you know? Are they mature enough to be able to go there if they want to kind of have some kind of conversation about something?
Yeah. There's always the ones that can and ones that can't.
No doubt.
That's what I've noticed.
No doubt. Yeah.
For the ones that can,
Right. So those, one of our topics today, Jay, is that we're talking about all women are female, but all females are women.
Yeah.
See, now there are some females who you can see some woman in them, which means that they just had not been blossomed yet.
Yeah.
Just like there's some women who can see a man in you, even though it maybe hadn't blossomed yet. So then you can have a different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it got to be that kind of thing. But if it's just oppositional,
right, then
that's another. If it's just oppositional, then that's another thing. If it's not, if it's oppositional, I don't know what in terms of that. I tell you, Jay, we're gonna take a little break, and we're gonna come back with our guests, and we're gonna talk with and our guest coming up here is his name is Mark, and I'm gonna find out Mark's full name, but he's with Encompass, and it's information that I ran across. Name Mark Shearer. That's the name, Mark Shearer, with Encompass Life. He's the owner and founder of Encompass Life, and he's gonna be our guest, and we're gonna be talking a little bit about body language, and again, we all can read body language on certain levels, but there's some deeper levels as well that we can deal with in terms of body language. So we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna come back with Mark Shearer, our guest tonight from Encompass Life.
So you've got projects to do around your home. You've got Harvey Lumber for that. You've decided to finally get that large deck built in the back for family fun and entertaining like you've been dreaming about for so long. You got Harvey Lumber for that. You've heard for so long that the
from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Visions Now, the Supper Club, and I'd like to welcome you all. And of course, it's a beautiful day. A little rainy, but actually it's kind of chill days, and we're having a chill kind of discussion. Of course, we were talking a little bit about it. Always, I mean, we're having some issues in human relationships, and particularly the boy-girl stuff. And I ran across some information, and we have a guest, Mr. Mark Shearer. We're going to bring him in out of the waiting room. And how you doing, sir? Okay. Can I hear you?
Oh, there you go. How about now?
There you
go. How are you doing, sir?
Technology, like I say, I understand.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting my listening audience know that I had kind of ran across something on Facebook, and And of course, some things I pay attention to, and some things catch my eye. And it was something about body language, and it caught my eye, and I reached out and had a very good discussion with some of your staff, and I thought it would be good for our listening audience to get a chance to just kind of hear what you're trying to do with the whole notion of body language and people understanding it and that type of thing. And so I'd like to welcome you. And so again, tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got started with your interest in body language.
Yeah, Mark Scherer. I've been a serial entrepreneur since probably my early 20s, mid 20s or so. I've had numerous companies, from construction to real estate investing to raw foods to I've done a lot of different things.
Okay,
but something that has always stuck out for me is personal growth and consciousness. It was something I was interested in since I was a kid. I just didn't know really what to call it or anything.
Right.
But I've been studying consciousness for about 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I started Encompass Life, I guess about 4 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer. But even when I was working with other companies or had other companies going, I often would coach people, employees, but also people on the outside. And somehow or another, I've been very lucky, and my coaching business has grown just by word of mouth. And I have clients from Australia, New Zealand. I mean, just word of mouth.
Right.
Russia, Ukraine, Crimea, Belarus. Netherlands. I mean, all over, Caymans.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, somebody just introduced me to somebody because they had a good experience. So after a while, I had clients who were saying, "Hey, man, what you do here is really, really different. And can you train me what you do?" So I started a university to do so about 5 years ago.
Now, what was the common thread? What was it? Was the same thing that attracted me, or what seemed to be the common thread with people who saw what you were doing and was kind of attracted and to kind of
most people
delve a little deep into this.
Most people had they had already tried numerous other modalities that they had maybe some success in, but they were still having issues, be it health issues or maybe money issues or relationship issues. Like maybe it would help a little bit, but it wasn't really moving everything. It wasn't really having everything shift for them. So they got kind of tired of doing that, or they had tapped out in their other modalities. So somebody told them about us and say, "Hey, this system really, really works. Try out Mark." And they did, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing."
Okay. Now, for example, are the same interests in Belarus and Russia the same ones in other parts of the world?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's all everything we do here is spiritual law. There's in scriptures. There's all these like life and death exists in the power of the tongue. By our words we are justified, by our words we are condemned. Judge not, lest you be judged. Those are spiritual laws, right?
That's right. Doing others, you will have them doing to you. Better to give than to receive.
Yeah. All that stuff. So all those things are spiritual laws. And so what we do here is most people can have a mental concept of them, but what we do here is we have a process where the person begins to embody them. As they begin to embody them at greater and greater levels, their life begins to improve very quickly. What they're basically doing is changing their relationship to life, capital L life, not the little squeaky life.
Right.
So in scriptures, God is love, life, truth, and light, capital L.
Right.
So when somebody changes their relationship to love, life, the big L, then their relationship to God changes. When their relationship to God changes, all areas of their life change immediately and exponentially, simultaneously and exponentially.
It's just kind of
most people.
It's kind of ironic because a lot of what you're saying it corresponds with the work that I've been doing for the last 45 plus years. And because you're using some of the same concepts, we talk about learning in life and living and loving and God and that type of thing. and understanding that there's some things that divide, but there's some things that unify us. I mean, I know that I've talked to some people the other day when I was in one of the prisons. I said, well, the fact of the matter is that there's some unconditional love that the supreme being in the universe has done. For example, all of us got the same air, the same water. We stay on the same earth. In other words, and no matter whether you're good or bad, you still can take advantage. You still can drink water. You still can breathe air. So therefore, we as people should reflect that same type of spirit that we are getting.
Yep, and we do here. We're very particular about how we use the word, how we use language, because every word will either thud us or lift us.
That's
so
right.
even the word learn, what we do here instead of learning, there's a process of remembering.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather learn about love, or would you rather remember love?
Uh-huh.
Like you when you learned when you were getting on a bicycle, no one can really teach you how to ride a bike. They can show you balance exists between
That's
these
right.
2 points, but you have to find it and remember it inside yourself. That's an embodied trait. Once somebody has an embodied trait like that, if you haven't ridden a bike in years, you'll still be able to get on that bike and ride because it's in your body now.
Right,
Calculus for me was learned, and once I got out of calculus, it was like, okay, see it. It was gone. But all this,
By the way, I had calculus. I still remember it though.
That's good. Well, good for you. I took calculus, and I took engineering calculus and differential equations, and no.
Right. Well, my point is, I still remember calculus. I can't remember how to do it, but I
remember the word.
That's
That's about all I remember from it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is a process of embodiment, and as a person begins to embody this, I'll do it this way. Most people will say, "Oh yeah, I love God." Well, how's your life going? Well, I'm having trouble with my kids. I'm having trouble with money. I'm having trouble with this. I'm having trouble with that. Well, whatever you're saying about life, your life is your relationship to God. Period. Because God is, in scriptures, God is life. So you're going, life's hard, life sucks. I'm from Texas. One of the phrases, my phrase they use in Texas, like life's like a turd on a bicycle tire. Same old crap keeps coming around again and again.
Right.
Yeah. So we had all these euphemisms, all these analogies that went into our training as a kid. Life's hard. You got to work really hard. You got to struggle. And oh my gosh, life's not fair, and all this stuff that goes in. Well, there's a whole other way to live life when you begin to live it by these spiritual laws, and things start to happen really, really, really quickly.
Okay.
So that's what we do here. We have people awaken to the laws, and as they do, their manifestations grow in boldness and magnitude.
Right. One of the things about, I guess, along that line, I've heard many times people say, why did God do this? Why did God take this person out of my life? I mean, we hear it all over on the news and everything, and you hear the anguish of families. Why us? I mean, why is this happening to us? Why did God do this? He was a good person. He was a bad person, but why did God allow him to be bad and that type of thing?
Yeah. So, I had an interesting childhood growing up. My dad was kind of a disciplinarian. My mother was schizophrenic. Tough. It was a tough childhood. So for 50 years, life happened to me. And I was blaming people, blaming my parents, blaming this. I mean, I had a lot of anger and resentment inside me. So even though I was studying consciousness, and I had forgiven my parents mentally, there was still stuff going on inside me until I found this modality. And I'll give you an example. I as a kid, I had a speech impediment. Excuse me. If I said a word incorrectly, I'd get hit or popped or yelled at. So my speech impediment turned into a stuttering problem. I stuttered.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to tell you. You're going to be stuttering.
Yep. I stuttered for 50 years. With this system, I went from a stutterer to clear speech in under 5 minutes. That's kind of cool.
Right.
I couldn't say the word love 20 years ago. So
Okay.
I couldn't speak in front of a group, stuttered. And now, as all this stuff left, now what I'm doing is I'm getting in front of groups of people and having them awaken to the power of love. I wore glasses for 37 years. My vision healed in a week.
Tell me about that one. I want to hear about the vision healing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was, I had a lot of, let's see how to say it. whatever you feel, whatever I was feeling, I had a lot of anger and resentment. So everything, that's all I could see was more anger and resentment. Whatever you feel is all you can see. So I was blinded from anger and resentment. I mean,
Right.
not blind, but I wore glasses. I even took allergy medicine for 30 something years. My allergies healed really, really quickly.
Right.
So all this stuff takes care of itself. But anyway, as I began to go shift from life happening to me to life happening for me and begin to see that and feel it in my body, my vision healed.
Okay. Got you. Let me ask you a question. One of the, we deal with a lot of issues. Of course, I personally would do a lot of relationship work and things of that sort. And I think you have to be up on the rock not to realize that today we have some little gender wars going on. It appears.
Yeah.
And what would you say for people who find themselves locked in this constant arguing and bickering and
Yep.
on the verge of divorce, or either just seem to I deal with family violence and anger
Yep.
as well. So what would you say to
Yep.
people who are locked into that type of
Yep.
that type
So
of dynamic?
if they're doing that, they haven't put God first in their life yet. Period. What they're doing is like a isosceles triangle, looks like a Christmas tree. You got the two people down here on the bottom of the triangle, and you got to put God first up at the top. What I mean by God is you got to put truth first. You got to put love first. You got to
That's
put
right.
light first. You got to put. But most people lie to themselves and lie about the other person, make up stuff in order
Right.
to get the chemical charge that they become addicted to that they hate.
Right.
There's four things that keep a pattern. If somebody's in a repetitive pattern with a person or finances or anything, there's four things that keep it in place: shame, blame, guilt, and hate. So until you address those four things, the pattern:
Shame. What's the next one?
shame, blame,
Blame, guilt,
guilt, and hate.
and hate.
Shame.
Shame,
Yep.
blame, guilt, and hate.
That's what keeps the pattern in place so most people will say, I got a lot of anger and such and such and such and such. I go, well, are you proud of it? Or do you like it? And they try, well, I got to get away from it. I got to run away from it. I got to get rid of it. No, you don't. What we do here, rather than trying to get away from the pattern, the person has to find out everything they can about the pattern. Once they get a PhD in anger, they'll be able to see what it costs them in their life and see what the payoffs are, and they'll be able to get through it really easily. But if they have shame up, they can't see their way through it. They have to be able to make it okay to get through it. So yeah, everything we do here is a simple process I've developed over, years, and I beta tested it for a number of years, coached people with it for a number of years. I've even worked with people involved in some really, really horrific stuff, and it works every single time as long as the person will play the game.
Right.
And fast.
Right.
Really
And
fast.
that, of course, in these days, if it's not fast, people don't want to deal with it. Exactly.
Yeah, I majored in engineering.
Okay.
So I was doing all these consciousness classes, and some of it felt really good, and some of it like, something's amiss here. So everything that kind of had I took it apart and put it back together and made improvements with it. That's kind of how I like to work.
Right.
So I like fast, fun, and easy, dude. I believe the speed of God is fast, fun, and easy.
But no doubt about it. It don't get no faster than that.
Yeah.
One of the things that go before as we get into the wind down a little bit is the issue about body language. What are some things about understanding?
Yeah. So most people try to fight a disease, and they're looking for something to fight how to fight the disease. What a disease is, or a state of non-ease, is a signal your body's giving you that something's awry in your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, if somebody has diabetes, let's say diabetes,
right.
And
right.
yeah. So what's going on if somebody has diabetes? There's a bitterness towards life, or the person can't see the sweetness of life. Then the pancreas shuts down. If somebody's having, like me, I had allergies. So when I had allergies, because I had a lot of grief and fear inside me, which was holding me back from living my inspired life. Heart disease is about the person has a fear of love or or love's been painful, or they're terrified to show love or give love or receive love, something like that.
Right.
So
And again, and I just want to, before we go, I want to explore this with you a little bit about the issue about remembrance. When you talk about remembrance, you're not talking about, for example, people who really never been in a loving environment for them to be able to, okay, what are they remembering?
Okay, yeah, great question, sir. Great question. Yeah, so what we do here is most modalities work to change thought. Don't think positive. I mean, don't think negative thoughts, think positive thoughts. That's how most modalities work. What we do here that's so different is we work with a person to change feelings, and once they change feelings, they'll remember what it's like to be in a great relationship.
Right.
But they have to. We have a really unique process that helps a person change feelings very, very quickly, and once they do, they will remember what healthy boundaries are. They'll remember what divine love is. They'll remember it inside. They'll be able to see. That's how I say this. It's like whatever that person is feeling, that's all they can see in their future is more what they're currently feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So as you change the feeling inside the body, now you have a ticket to see a different movie for yourself.
And so what you're doing, I gather, and I think we kind of follow the same path. Is that at some point when they address that, then this love feeling, then they have to be able to identify that because sometimes there's an uneasiness because there's a new feeling. So therefore they have to be able to I think embrace it somehow, right?
Sort of. I mean, the way we do it, all that gets bypassed really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have people who are going to other modalities. They spent whatever months or years or even decade in another modality. They come over here. They said you're doing more in 20 minutes than we got out of 10 years of other coaching.
Right.
So it's really fast. It's emotional. I mean, you're gonna when I went from a stutterer to clear speech in 5 minutes, there was a lot of sweating, snorting, and crying really quickly.
Right. Agonizing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of modalities talk about being vulnerable. You ever heard of that? You got to be vulnerable.
Of course.
Yeah. If you ever see a vulnerable dog, what does it do? Lays down on the floor and shows its belly. What we do here is courageous. You got to be courageous to do this.
Right.
Yeah. Say vulnerable. Say vulnerable. No, say the word vulnerable.
Oh, vulnerable.
Now say courageous.
Courageous.
Which one?
Courageous.
Say I love.
Courageous.
Now say I love.
I love
being courageous love.
Courageous love.
Say it again.
I love being courageous love.
Yeah, and then that will start to wake your body up to it'll produce a feeling, and all of a sudden you're going to remember what courageous love is.
Right.
So,
and of course, I like that introduction too, because I'm big on the I am.
I am, yes, sir.
Yes,
I love
that.
I like the word I love. I love being courageous love. I am courageous love.
That's right.
I awaken courageous love in my family.
Right.
And you start to say these decrees, and we'll stay with you. And there's a lot of modalities that talk about a lot of things, but we do here in Accomplish Life. We work with people. We like Sherpa, like a guide, and we walk with them and help them get this stuff embodied until they can do it on their own. Then they can replicate it with somebody else.
Right. One of the things that remind me of, many of the sessions that I do many times, and there's questions that come up, and someone would say, "Well, I really don't know. I really don't know how to answer that." And I tell them, don't start off with saying what you don't know. Start off with just giving your best answer, as opposed to putting and say, "Well, I don't know. I don't really know what that is." No, don't say that. Just give your best answer. And then,
interesting comment. The word, we are an I am that I am, not an I am not that we're not, right? So the word not is a sign of suppressed anger and resentment. Period. And it's a direct correlation between the word not and anxiety. The more nots a person is speaking, the higher the level of anxiety. So, and where the knots come from, when somebody's speaking a lot of knots, they've had a trauma early on in their life. And then when that trauma occurred, they said, life shouldn't be this way. I'm not good enough. I can't do anything right. I shouldn't have the parents I have, something. And they surround this trauma with a whole bunch of not statements. Once
Right.
they did that, those not statements took over, and the person's living themselves from
Exactly.
an I am not, which is a separate language from God.
Right. Matter of fact, I have a name for it. I call it moonwalking, but that's another
Moonwalking.
discussion for another time.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, what is your website that people might want to
Yeah.
reach out and
Yes, it's www.encompasslife.com.
okay.
And
Okay.
if you choose to have a chat with me, I'm love chatting with people. You can send me an email and just say Dr. Hud, excuse me, Dr. Hud,
Hood,
and Hood, Hood,
Hood.
Hood.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, she typed it HUD, so I
Yeah,
choose
it
it.
is.
Yeah,
It is. It's
Hood.
pronounced in the Eastern fashion, not the Western vowel
Okay,
sound.
Hood, Hood, awesome, awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, so just put down Dr. Hood
Uh-huh.
in the subject line, and I'll make sure I get in touch, give you a call, and or set up a time where we can chat. But we
Okay,
have
I think we have a lot in common, and we certainly have the same foundation. And so I look forward to having some further discussions with you, and hopefully we can expand the village.
Yeah, I'd love to. And can you send me a recording of this as well? And I'd love to keep in touch with you and show you some things we do, because this is just a little tip of the iceberg of what we do here.
Your co-partner, your partner in crime, however you want to partner in non-crime, partner
We
in victory.
we have a team of coaches, and
Right.
we're training more.
Okay.
When I started building this, I what Compass Life is about, rather than it being about a single person, there's a
Right.
whole team of us. So I'm training people to train other people now, so I can
That's
keep.
right. That's what it's all about. And
Yep, yep,
and,
yep.
and, and look forward to having allies in this. And I look forward to us becoming allies in this work because we got a lot of work to do.
Yes, it's time, man. I think it's like at a teeter-totter point on the planet, and let's just have the thing move it, get it moving forward.
There you go. There you go. Appreciate you. And this is, of course, Mr. Mark Shearer, and he's with Encompass, uh, Compass Life
Life.com.
.com, and I would like to thank him for being with us today. And have a blessed day, and continue to be a blessing to the world.
You too, sir. Nice to meet you, sir.
From your level and your degree.
Yeah, you too. Nice to meet you, Dr. Hood.
Peace.
See you soon, sir.
Bye bye. Okay, that was Mr. Mark Shearer there. Hope that you enjoyed that little chat. And again, it seems like Jay, he's talking about things that we seem to be in the same neighborhood there. We're not quite wide the world as he is, but we're working on it. We'll get there, right? Okay, no doubt about it. We're gonna take a quick break here. We're gonna come back and we're gonna be dedicating the rest of this month. Every one of our shows is going to be dedicated to Dr. John Henry Clark, our homeboy, my mentor, my big brother, my friend. Dr. John Henry Clark coming after this on, 92.1 FM, the flavor, and you know who loves you, and ain't a doggone thing you can do about it, but take it and use it.
I love telling stories about the good old days, especially when I'm referring to Harvey Lumber Company. And I've told a bunch of them because that's what Harvey Lumber's always reminded me of. Sometimes I just like to pick at my lifelong friend, Dale Castile, who's the manager of Harvey Lumber Company, because let's be honest, if you know him, you know he's an easy target. But he's also one of the most caring people you'll ever meet. That's why I believe he's in the business he was destined to be in. He's loved taking care of the folks that come to Harvey Lumber for building materials and everything associated with building materials for many, many years. Dale has all
hearts. The only thing required is yourself and your spirit. Not only for her, for yourself, but for those yet to come. Penn Center, St. Helena Island, South Carolina, August 11th through 19th. Please see Minister Clemson Brown for details. Please see Mr. Bill Jones, First World Alliance, for details. Yvonne Milliner for details. In African tradition, the most sacred of individuals are the newborn and the elderly. Why? Because they are closest to the ancestors, and by definition are the wisest among us. We cannot make any headway without the guidance and the wisdom and the experience of our elders. We are here because they came before us. I first met Dr. John Henry Clark in 1982 in Raleigh, North Carolina. He defined the word erudition for me. You know what erudition means? It just means limitless knowledge. I don't think I had ever then or since met a man who knew so much. But I have met people who have accumulated facts and information. What set Professor John Henry Clark apart was the sharp, decisive, penetrating analysis, interpretations, explanations he gave for historical phenomena, quite unlike anybody I've ever known before or since. He is an institution. He is an icon. He is an elder. He is a living ancestor. His wisdom, his experience, his knowledge, his intellect is the fire that warms us. If he were in Africa, he would almost be worshiped because the ancestors speak through him and he speaks for them to us. My mother, who is 81 years old, has always told her children, don't give me my flowers when I'm dead. There's nothing that I can do with it. You give me everything that is coming to me while I'm living. And this is what we do. Is that not true? We take our cultural heroes and we do not give them their proper due, the love that they have earned until they have passed on. It's all backwards. If we are going to engage, and I'm going to give you these numbers, a 500-year process of reconstruction, because brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, and children, sons and daughters, that's what it's going to take. And be ready for the task. Be ready to work for something that you will not see the fruit of until after your life has passed. And therefore, you can continue the work of John Henry Clark. You have a responsibility for continuing the work of John Henry Clark. You will be held accountable if you do not continue the work and build on the legacy of John Henry Clark. So, he is among us now. Let us touch him. Let us listen. Let us absorb. Let us be transformed by his sacred words. Professor John Henry Clark.
Watch this. I can show you how to get the sweetest deals online when you shop from major retailers like Amazon and Target. You can drop prices automatically.
Dr. John Henry Clark. Okay, all right. Dr. John Henry Clark. Let's give it up in a loud voice. We can do it. Dr. John Henry Clark. He could have been anywhere tonight, but he chose to be with us. Dr. John Henry Clark. We love you, Dr. Clark. We love you, Dr. John Henry Clark. The next voice that you will hear will be the eminent Dr. John Henry Clark. I'm at the podium. Good. Sure. Can you take a stick down? Yeah.
I appreciate being here, and I wish I had a cheerful message. But we are at the crossroads of our existence as a people, and we have never been in more danger than we're in right now. We're in danger because we have not understood a basic thing, the structure of the community and the family. And we have dwelled among and catered to and worshiped foreigners, fakers, and fools. And we have forgotten our own sense of the family and the community. We're meeting at a time when we are memorializing the 31st year of the passing of Malcolm X, and we still did not understand him and did not really meet him. Because if we understood what he was about, you would understand what that charade in Africa and Asia is about. If you have read a newspaper here, published here in Brooklyn called The Liberator, that article, that appraisal of that needless journey and a waste of our money is appraised. It is very often, very seldom, that I read an article and agree with every word of it. If you want to know what I think, read the article. I will devote no time to this masquerade tonight, this massive waste of time and money, this great international show that will lead you no place except to another collection play and make the players richer while they look down their nose at you. Now, our sense of community was lost when we came in touch with people who had no sense of community because they did not come out of a community comparable in its organization that we did. And we lost that community when we began to imitate them. We lost a concept of the community as nation. Something called nation is a container. It's a container for your aspirations, a container for your hopes, a container for your past, an influence on your present, and a prophecy to your future. And when you lose this container called nation, you lose the frame of mind that goes into the making of a nation. And once you understand nation, nation is portable. You can take it wherever you go. Now, if you understand the Italians is on the face of the earth, he will answer to the word Italian. Your great mistake is you should not only lost the concept of nation, you've lost the nation frame of mind. You open a store in Chinatown, you wouldn't get one customer. Then why are aliens running the store in your neighborhood? And if you ask to run the stores in your neighborhood, you are called racist. Why are you called racist for doing for yourself what everybody else have had the common sense to do for themselves? This is where you have misunderstood the concept of nation, because the concept of nations is the concept of responsibility. Now, what kind of nation did your enemies come out of? All the years when they had not emerged from the ice, had not built a nation at all. And now with all of the attack on African people, and they're bringing now pseudo black white people, dark-skinned Caucasian. Oh, the Egyptian was in Africa, all right, but he's a dark-skinned Caucasian. The Ethiopian was in Africa, but he's a dark-skinned Caucasian. Why have both blacks and whites neglected the vast body of literature, of radical literature that white people wrote about the danger of white people on this earth? We don't want to destroy any people. That's not part of our culture, to destroy people. We have dwelled among the people of the world. And if you read all the information on Africans in Asia, Africans in the Americas, how is it that we had the common humanity to dwell among the people of the world, to scatter ourselves through our curiosity throughout the world, and there is not one hint of a wall between us and the people that we visited? We have already proved that we can maintain an African nation and participate in a universal nation. The time to call for this is the time that we need to remember Malcolm X, because we are still misinterpreting him. We are still missing his mission, and we're still missing his call for the restructure of the African nation throughout the world. He went beyond Pan-Africanism to a holistic approach for African people throughout the world. He did not call for you to dismantle your society, but he called for you to deal with the people who destroyed the society and your sense of nation. I have written a book called Who Betrayed the African World Revolution and Other Speeches. There have been so much betrayal since I wrote the book, and so many betray us. Now I must write the book all over again. I must make a deeper assessment of the civil rights movement when we began to dismantle the institutions in the Black community and run toward everything white. When we got into the NACP syndrome in that bag of worms called integration.
All over the world, Europe, Asia, South America, the Caribbean. Dr. John Henry Clark from Columbus, Georgia, is a world-renowned historian. And the thing about it is that, as he said here, he understands we can have vigorous discussion. We didn't agree on everything, okay? But I still learned from him. In other words, we didn't fall out because there are some things that I didn't agree with him on because I had a different viewpoint or a different thought about, that type of thing. We continued our mentorship and my menteeship, with him. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about, because there's some things I've come to But he said that I come to understand and appreciate. And I understood that. And there's some other things that I still don't agree with. But the vast majority of stuff I do understand, you see, and that inspires me in today. So again, with that, Jay, what do you think about Black History Month, or call it Sankofa Month? Anything you like to say about this month? And do you want to do anything special? By the way, I'm suggesting this month a book. Let's see here. Yes, Asata, and particularly sisters. Brothers don't like to read a lot of time these days, but sisters, you do. You need to read about a real woman. A real woman. This is, so a lot of times you read about all these other things, but this is a woman here, a woman that gave her life, for the improvement and respect of our community. She still lives now in Cuba. So Asata, at Euphoria Books and Warehouse House, you'd like to get a copy, give me a call. It's like, you read the autobiography of Malcolm X. This is the autobiography of Asata. It is. I read it, I think, in 2 days. I couldn't put it down. Once I started reading, I couldn't put it down. I had to go on and finish through it, no doubt about it. So what you guys think, Jake?
Keep on tuning into this broadcast each and every week. I think for anyone in the Tri-City area, not only will you be surprised at who is here as a guest, but you'll be surprised to just take away something that you definitely haven't heard of before. I think that's something that people can get every single week when they tune into the show.
No doubt. And I hope that you will share this also with your friend, to share it, because it's like this. Anybody who don't want to learn and improve themselves, they don't know it, but they're your enemy. Anybody don't want to grow is your enemy. It's just that simple. Because if they don't want to grow so that we can do better by each other, we can love each other better, we can work and improve and create a better future, then that's the enemy.
Yeah,
exactly. And they say that if you want to get wisdom, you know what they say? Go watch the ants. Go watch the ants for wisdom. And I think that most of us know what that means. Ants are organized. They get the job done year round. I don't know. Have you ever seen an ant fight? I've never seen an ant fight. I don't think I see them with one group marching to the hole, one marching out the hole to get their part to take back to the hole. I mean, like, hey, you know what? One time I dreamed that ants were little people. They talk about giant, that we the giants, but the ants are the little people. That's what it looked like to me. So, no doubt. So anything like Julian, you got here a little late tonight, but
I think you mentioned it a while ago, but it's not secondary. It's not like we're doing this work to go and do something else. Like this is the primary. This is the primary focus, emphasis of your existence as an African person.
Got to. When we talk about nation, we talk about building a nest. Who don't have a nest? Right. Every bird got a nest. Every fish got a nest. Every beaver got a nest. Every bear got a nest. Our nation is our nest. So we can't be whole, we can't be safe, we can't be stable until we do what? Get a nest. And guess who the mistress of nests are? That's the female. When the female becomes the woman, that's the nester. Men don't need no nest. Men can sleep anywhere. But a woman needs a nest. So therefore, the woman is the cultivator. She's the highest representation of culture. She's the one that creates what needs to be done. And the man, if he's a man, he's the one that provides what she needs in order to build that nest. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, next week, we'll take it up from there. As always, promoted to Shashindaru, Sasawas, Missouri. Stay tuned. Next week, 7 p.m. same time. Good Lord, when the creek don't rise. For more visions now, the Supper Club, promoted to Shashindaru, Sasawas, Missouri. And we say, Sankofa time. It's freedom time. Good night.